Hi, everybody. This is Carol, and I decided for this week that I would go back to my online course proposal from the OTL 5100 course because that is a freshman in college class, a literature composition class responding to literature through composition, which I felt like might be a course that I would teach. So I decided to use that as the class that I would develop and have a week's worth of online assignments and so forth for this particular assignment. And so I thought this probably won't be that hard. I've done curriculum a lot in the past, as I've said, and literature is certainly something that I've taught a lot, and so I thought this would be pretty easy, but it turned out to not be nearly as easy as I thought. One of the reasons was because I felt like I wanted to do the whole course. I didn't want to just do 1 week, which I know seems like, well, why wouldn't you just want to do 1 week? Because that's a whole lot easier. But I wanted to see where the assignments for this week sort of fit into the whole um, 13 weeks or 7 weeks or whatever the length of time was. And so that was difficult for me because I like to see how things build and how one assignment works on another assignment. And so it seemed like I was just pulling out one little segment, and that sort of didn't fit my sense of, all the pieces fitting together. But anyway, so I made this assignment up. That was the one problem, was just pulling something out. The other problem was that I didn't have the textbook because I chose a textbook that would be a college level textbook that I've never done before. And so I had to Google the table of contents to see what was in the textbook because I wanted it to be as realistic as it could be. And so I had to kind of use the works that were in that book that I was familiar with. And so I did. I used a Langston Hughes poem, Harlem, as my topic. And then, of course, that gave me lots of ideas that I, again, wanted to do a whole course on. And then that muddied things up. And so I ended up doing it with a play, A Raisin in the Sun, by Lorraine Hansberry, and made a lesson plan out of that. So anyway, that was another limitation, not being able to have the actual textbook in hand to use in making the plan. The third limitation, which pertains to our work here, is the actual online planning. And the limitation there was knowing that I wasn't going to be able to tell my students what I wanted to say, that everything that I was giving them was going to be online. So even if I were going to do a screencast or a video, which I didn't put in my lesson plans because I didn't see a place for that, but I would do that. It just didn't seem to fit in the actual plans. It had to do more with what the students were doing. I would start the week with a video, I guess, and maybe I need to go back and put that in actually. But I just think that I found that it is much harder knowing that you're not going to actually be describing activities to students, that you're not going to be able to build that enthusiasm like we were just talking about last week. And I think that seems really apropos because as we were talking about ways to motivate and engage students last week, and then trying to put pencil to paper or, fingers to computer screen, trying to make a lesson plan, I really realized it's hard to get that enthusiasm across when you're just doing it, in a Word doc, or even through a video. I mean, it's hard to get that Pentecostal pedagogy going on a computer screen like this. And so I really thought this is a lot harder than I thought it was. I also realized that I think I'm going to miss actually seeing that interaction, that I have this lesson plan that I think, oh, this is a good lesson plan. I want to teach this. I want somebody to react to this. I want to see if they like this plan, and it will be a very delayed reaction. And so to me, that was the part that was different from creating classroom content for a face-to-face class, that I know that my reaction with students is going to be delayed, and that I am not sure is going to be as satisfying to me. Um, so in adding the Web 2.0 tool, that was not hard for me. If you looked at my Glogster thing a few weeks ago on presentation tools, I think it's a great tool, and I think it puts that creativity and enthusiasm in, and so it gives the kids or the students an opportunity to really shine in a way that speaks to them. Because I know for me, I might do something that's very would have one look to it, and a student might do something that looks entirely different, and I might have a type of music that I would put in, and they would do something obviously quite different than I would. And so I think that from that standpoint, it allows that individuality that we talked about also. I liked that idea. I am going to post my lesson plan for you to look at if you want to. I don't think it's anything stellar, but I think that you're certainly welcome to look at it. It was sort of eye-opening to me to realize how different it is when you actually sit down to write a plan that you think that you would be teaching, that I would be teaching, and that someone else is going to be reading and um, opening as a class. It makes it a different situation than just talking about it theoretically. So I will be anxious to hear what you thought and to see your plans if you want to share them. And